Hi everyone, it's Richard. So last video was my 1 year anniversary. It's now been 1 year and 1 month. I ended my 1 year journey at the end of, I guess at the end of May, and it's now July 6th. I meant to post this video on July 1st, but I've just been lazy. So I've reweighed myself. I also made some changes to my normal dieting routine and my normal exercise routine because now that I've met my goal of 200 pounds after a year, I have moved my goal from 200 pounds to 180 pounds. So now I have a stretch goal of losing 20 more pounds. Since I'm not as heavy as I used to be, and now my weight is a lot more manageable, um, I do still need to lose weight. However, I want to lose weight in a way that makes sense. I don't want to just lose weight and then be skinny fat. So I want to try to build a lot more muscle now. So that way, when I do lose the weight and I am skinny, um, I have something to show for it. So I'm trying to do some recomposition. So I'm trying to build muscle while at the same time still losing weight, which I've been told like that it's doable, and then I've also been told that no, you have to do a bulk and then a cut and then bulk and cut. However, where I'm currently at 200 pounds, and I don't know my exact body percentage, but I'm probably like 20, 25 or something. Um, I still have a lot of fat to lose. So being able to still be in a calorie deficit while increasing my protein intake shouldn't be too bad. So that's why I've made some changes to both my diet and my workout routine. Um, and we'll see how that goes. So for my workout routine, I didn't change all that much. I am still going 3 days per week, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, doing full body workouts each of those days, and then ending with cardio, mostly working on the machines. However, I did incorporate two more exercises. Um, Before I was doing butterflies with free weights. Those were like the only free weights I would do for my traps, which it's hard in the shirt. But I also want to try to build more on the shoulders too, and try to get the shoulders more muscular for the V taper look, which I kind of do when I'm doing the butterflies and building my traps. But I want to increase the amount of workout I'm doing on my shoulders. So on top of that, I'm also doing another shoulder exercise on a weight machine that I found, which I don't know what you would call it. It's basically the same, similar thing, but on a weight machine where there's like two cushions on your shoulders and you have to like push them up. Because I'm trying to build more around here rather than here. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I incorporated that into my routine, just an extra exercise I have to do while I'm at the gym. And then also another exercise is the inclined bench press, another machine where you're at like an angle, doing shoulders and arms some more. I actually did that machine about 6 months ago at my old gym, and for some reason I just completely forgot about that exercise existence when I had moved gyms and everything. So technically, I haven't been doing that exercise for the past like several months, and I'm just reincorporating it now, which I can't believe I completely forgot it. But I'm adding that because I want to try to get more definition in my shoulders and upper arms. So I added those two exercise routines, which is causing me to stay in the gym for a bit longer. I'm there for like 2 hours. And it is what it is. So I added two more exercises to help with the upper body and shoulders. Then my diet, I did change my diet a bit to be more, to have a more of a protein intake. If you remember, basically my diet was for the good year that I've been focused on primarily weight loss rather than muscle gain is one, I would still have vanilla lattes in the morning because I'm addicted to those, and those are like the one meal I have to look forward to in my day because of the caffeine, and yeah, it's sugary. But that's kind of what helps me stay on track and stay motivated. So I am glad for that. However, now that I'm closer to my goal weight, I have to be a lot more precise in what I'm eating, which means moving out those sugars and trying to find better options for my calorie, I guess, budget. And that latte in the morning does take up part of my calorie budget, but it's not really providing anything of use to me like protein. So I decided to swap out those lattes in the morning. I still have them occasionally if I'm running late in the morning because I've been trying to incorporate more protein powder and protein shakes, protein drinks into my diet to help increase my protein intake. So in the morning, I'm using vanilla whey protein. This is the one I got. But here, that's what I, and there's the nutrition label. It's 130 calories per scoop. I use 2 scoops, so 260 calories, and and then as far as the protein, it's 25 grams per scoop. So I'm getting 50 grams of protein for 260 calories. On my chart where I keep track of my calories, I have it as 300. I'm kind of rounding up a bit because I do use some milk. Before, what I was doing in the morning was I got a blender, I got a cheapy blender. I probably should have gotten a better blender, but I'm trying to save money right now. And the reason why I got it was because it had two interchangeable parts. You had this for the blender, which I think it's too big. It needs to be smaller because sometimes it doesn't blend all the way. But the reason why I got it was because you can change the blender, this part right here, with this. So that way you can make a protein shake on the go and just take it out, and you don't have to have as many dishes. So that's why I got it. And I did like that for a time. I was using the protein, 2 scoops of protein powder. I added some ice and then some milk, and then blended it, and it was kind of like a milkshake, which I did like. But after a while, it got kind of old, like really fast, like after 2 or 3 weeks, because I could only put so much ice in that tiny little cup that it doesn't give me the right consistency. So it's very like melty and melted and like a slush, and it's just not that great. Um, it kind of is if you have it like once or twice, but if you're having it every day, it gets old really fast when it's like all melty, and it melts pretty fast. Like as soon as I get to my car after making it, it's already like being all melty. And then when I'm trying to chug it before it melts too fast on my drive to work, it's just not that great. So what I started doing now is instead of just blending it with ice and making a milkshake in the morning, um, I'll add some milk for flavor and then just mostly water and shake it, um, and which has been a lot better. It's not like some melty weird consistency. Um, so I just run it at 300 calories because I add some milk into it. And then for my lunch, I stopped with the apple and the banana for lunch because although it was low calories, which is great for weight loss, it wasn't helping me reach my protein goals. And with a limited calorie budget, trying to stay in a deficit, I need to get as much protein per calorie as I possibly can. So I'm getting 50 grams of protein in the morning from the protein shake. Now what I'm doing, I swapped out the apple and the banana for Greek yogurt and 3 ounces of turkey breast. I'll just walk over to the market during my lunch break at work, and I'll just grab some Greek yogurt. It's like a little tiny cup, Chobani, and I just get the plain one because it's 80 calories and has 14 grams of protein in it, which is a lot for just 80 calories. And then I'll get 3 ounces of turkey breast. I forget how many calories it is, like 12 or something like that. And it's only for like maybe 75 calories. So ironically, it's actually less calories than my apple and banana because that was 200 calories total, and this ends up being 155 calories total. And yet I'm getting like, I don't know, 26 grams of protein from that. So it's been really nice. I really enjoy being able to substitute that. And then, so that's mostly the changes I made to my diet. So relatively, I haven't really changed much of my calorie intake in my morning and afternoon lunch because I'm just swapping for better choices, luckily. So my calorie intake isn't going up from there. However, in the evening, I'll still have my steak and broccoli or steak fajitas that I make, um, or Chipotle if it's a gym day. But I'll have a dessert in the evening now, which is basically another protein shake. This time it's casein, my casein protein here. There we go. There's the nutrition label. And this one is 120 calories per scoop. Again, I use 2 scoops, and again, this one's 24 grams per scoop. So I'm getting 48 grams of protein from this. And the reason why I use the casein protein at night instead of the whey protein is because the casein protein digests slower, so it's better for muscle growth and recovery at night. So that's why I have the two different protein powders that I use, the whey for the day and casein for the night. And I got chocolate for that one because vanilla was an option, unfortunately. Um, but it's not too bad. That one I do use in the bigger blender, so I can use ice. Um, and luckily, with the bigger blender, I can use more ice to the protein powder and milk ratio than with that little small blender that I use in the morning, or that I was using in the morning. So I get a better consistency, and plus I'm eating with a spoon, so I don't have to deal with like the melted parts of it. I can just eat the actual frozen parts, and it's basically like soft serve ice cream. So it's really nice being able to get fit and then feel like you're drinking milkshakes or eating ice cream, which I do enjoy. However, it's it does cause me to have an extra 300 calories in my budget than I normally would have, which is definitely slowing down my weight loss. And I try to stay in a calorie deficit, and I still stay in the calorie deficit relatively by like maybe a couple to a few hundred calories a day. However, because I'm increasing my calorie intake from my normal routine by like 300, I'm trying to offset that. So I did make another change to my exercise routine that I did mention earlier, which is I'm starting to try to walk more on my off days. So days that I'm not going to gym, when I get home, I'll just go for like an hour long walk. And by my estimates, I think I'm probably burning like 150 calories or so. So it doesn't burn off all that 300 calories, but it keeps it in check somewhat at least. And then, so on the days I'm not going to the gym, I might be breaking even or only losing like a few hundred calories per day because I'm trying to just not go higher than my metabolic rate at least. So I might lose a few more, but I have a pretty sedentary desk job, unfortunately. Most of my weight loss is going to come on my gym days because I'm probably burning like 500 calories at the gym and I'm eating basically the same stuff. So most of my weight loss is going to come from those days. I am still losing weight, but it's very slowly compared to what I used to because of that increased protein intake and because I'm getting closer and closer to my weight goal now. I used to lose like 8 pounds a month or 2 pounds per week on average. Nowadays, I'm lucky if I lose 8 pounds per week. Um, so for this past month, the month of June, I've only lost about 3.5 pounds compared to the previous month, which was my 1 year anniversary. I was at 199, and then by the end of June, I was down to 196. What was I at? I was at 196.4. So only like 3.5 pounds. I imagine by the end of July, I'll probably be in the low 190s. I should still be on track to lose 20 pounds to get to 180 by December. Um, but I just have to be very careful and be very careful with any time I get off track from my normal diet routine. If I try to splurge a little bit here and there, I have to be very careful with it. Like on Friday, 4th of July, um, I went to see the Jurassic Park movie, and I'm like, hey, I'm watching a movie. I want to get a bucket of popcorn because because that's what you do when you go to see a movie, right? So I just had to be careful with that. I did get a bucket of popcorn, and yeah, I may have been at a break even point on my calories for that day, but I really enjoyed going. And it's not going to matter all too much in the grand scheme of things as long as I'm consistent throughout most of my weeks and most of my days. So that's what I've been doing. These two, and then I also started incorporating some well, there we go, some multivitamins. Just because I'm getting a lot of my protein intake from 2 shakes a day, or 4 scoops essentially, and my lunch. The only time I'm having like real food is my lunch, which is Greek yogurt and 3 ounces of turkey breast, and then my dinner, which is steak and broccoli or steak fajitas or chipotle, which I'll have chicken in my chipotle bowl. So I use this multivitamin for anything else. Um, that's basically the changes I made. I'll show you my graph here just so you see where I'm at. So here's my graph. Let's see. At the end of my 1 year anniversary, I was 199.9 pounds. And now at the end of, basically at the start of July, 196 and a half. 196.6 and 0.4. So it's at 196 and a half. So I lost 3.5 pounds. I did take a progress photo. Let me try to zoom in here. There's my progress photo compared to the previous month when I was at 199. You don't really see much of a change because I only lost 3.5 pounds, unfortunately. But I think as I get closer to 180, the changes will become a lot more significant. So that's where I'm at, 1 year and 1 month, and we'll see what happens from there. Thank you.